Okay. So Miss Dunn.
Miss Dunn, I'd like you to go over my speech just to make sure it doesn't start World War III.
I think that's the president supposed to be. Yeah, words could do a lot of harm. So here's the question. This is a very, very simple start. We all know every parsha we talk about this, every Farbrengen everyone mention it, that Torah is Lashon Hara. That's what Torah means. Every detail in Torah is a message for us. Eternal, personal, meaningful, relevant for everyone. Right? Hashem made the world, He gave us the Torah, and the Torah means instructions, it means guidance. There's not a single detail in the Torah that doesn't have a message for everybody. Sometimes we have to, be focused more and to find it, but it's always applicable. Okay. So the question is, what about the name of this week's parsha? Emor. It's to talk, to speak. What's the message of this name? What kind of message could it be? And you can't say it means talk Torah, which is everyone was right away thinking of course, because you don't need a name of a parsha. That's actually official instruction. We say it multiple times a day in the Shema. It says with the bar tabam, you should speak in them, which means words of Torah, right? Everyone knows. Not on Torah words. And Bam, of course, stands for Bereshis, the beginning of the written Torah, and Me'emasai, right, the learning brachas, the beginning of the oral Torah, the Torah Shabbat Peh. That's already an explicit phrase in the Torah. So it can't be that's the message of the name of the parasha. You don't need a insight derived, like a message from a name of parasha for something that's explicit and everyone knows it already because it's such a famous phrase. What else could it be? It gets even more problematic because if you go to Pirkei Avos, which everyone's doing these days, you have a bunch of teachings that seem to say the opposite. Talking is not such a good thing. And the name of the parsha is just talk. Keep talking. How could that be? Look what it says in Pirkei Avos. Speak a little and do a lot. Or there's nothing as beneficial to a person as silence. By loose translation. Right? So you go to, and there's more. The siyag lachach mashtika, right? Silence is a offense for wisdom. You have so many teachings that seem to imply talking is not such a good thing at all. Or as Abe Lincoln said, better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak out and remove all doubt. Right? Talking is not always helpful.
Rabbi, this is
So we go to the Rambam now. The Rambam even brings us an halacha. This makes our question even stronger. The parsha seems to be saying, talk, speak. That's the name of the parsha. As if it's a positive thing. But look what the Rambam writes. Oilam yarba adam b'shtika. V'lo yidaber ela oibida v'chachma oibidvarim shetzarich lahem l'chaye gufay. The Rambam says you should always speak quiet. And only speak things that either are wisdom, related to wisdom, wise matters, or things that you need to logistics for life. Like, you got to arrange things, take care of things. And then the Rambam brings in the Sefer Halachas. Amru Arav Talmid Rabbeinu HaKadosh. They say about Rav, the student of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, also known as Rabbeinu HaKadosh, our holy teacher, also known as Rebbe, who codified the Mishnah. Shaloi Soch Sicha B'Teila Kol Yamav. He was one of the greatest students of Rebbe, and they said about him a praise that he never spoke empty, like pointless conversation ever. And unfortunately, the Rambam laments most people, most of the time, most of their words are really not so meaningful. And even what's necessary, like logistics for your needs, of your, taking care of yourself, and so on, you shouldn't talk a lot. Try to find a way to speak minimal amount of words. And this is what the rabbis had in mind when they said, Kol amar b'dvarim mevichet, another phrase in Pirkei Avos, besides the three I already brought, that whoever speaks a lot will cause sin. You're asking for trouble. This is what we found, but the Rambam has it slightly different.
This is a sikha?
Yes, we are doing a sikha. So it makes the question stronger. What is the lesson of the name of our parsha when it seems all these sources are saying very strongly that talking should be kept to a minimum and very controlled and calculated and deliberate and not just talk excessively. And yet the name of the parsha seems to be just talk. Talk is like a good thing without any limits. The Rambam continues, a fascinating concept. I'm just sharing it because we're doing a lot of learning. It's not totally relevant, but it's very insightful and connected a little bit. He says, even in the words of Torah, you should try to bring out points and make your point, whatever you're teaching, in the shortest amount of words as possible. Brevity is clarity. That's like foolishness. Very, very interesting point. Okay. Silence is golden unless you have kids, then silence is suspicious. Very, very true. Happened this morning in my house. Okay. Let's go on to another source. This is the beginning, the introduction to our explanation. There's a famous Gemara in Erechim. Lishnat lisai hoidik kotlat shloishim. Hoidik shloishim. There's many different versions of this. It says slander, lashon hara, is called literally a triple tongue. Maybe it's like a snake's tongue is forked. This is like triple, maybe. It means a tongue that's split, literally. It harms, it kills 3 people. What is the meaning of that? So, okay, let's see the Rambam first, then I'll explain a little more. The rabbi said, Shalosh avenos nifroim min ha'adam ba'olam hazeh. There are 3 terrible, terrible sins that you'll get it in this world for doing it. And you get it in the next world. You're going to need cleansing in this world and cleansing in the next world. Idol worship, adultery, and murder. And then the Rambam adds, "V'loshin hara keneged kula." Words, bad talk, loshin hara, negative words about others, keneged kula. That's equal to these 3 cardinal sins, which is, we say about it, you should give your life rather than transgress it. The Rambam says very strong words. It's like you're a heretic, heresy. You went against the whole religion. It's not a little detail in Judaism. This is paraphrasing this Gemara that lashon hara kills 3 people. The one who says it, the one who receives it, and the victim, the one it's about. And the one who is the recipient, the listener, is more guilty than the one who says it. What does it mean it kills?
The listener
So
is more guilty?
Yeah, yes. He's encouraging it. He makes because he's sinning because of him. He's the one who's like encouraging it. He facilitates it. We can discuss it more later. And I want to explain why. What do you mean kills? So the first thing you have to realize is that sins, especially severe sins, they separate you from Hashem. You disassociated yourself from the source of life, right? When you're connected to Hashem, you're connected to life, you're alive. When any sin is in a way the opposite of life, doesn't mean there was officially capital punishment for lashon hara, but spiritually, it says it does terrible spiritual pain and damage to a person, which is in a way worse than that, to the person's soul, for someone who does this sin. Okay? This is the first point of our intro. Silence is golden. Too bad. Nobody's buying. I wouldn't say nobody, but not enough. Okay, let's continue the Rambam. Let's continue another classic Rambam. Yochas Deis, Perek Hey, Halacha Zayin. Talmid Chacham, a scholar, a high-level Jew. He says, the Rambam's describing behavior, and he says someone who learned Torah properly, and he behaves on a higher standard, this is how he should behave. Shouldn't be screaming and shouting when he talks like animals and undomesticated animals. He shouldn't raise his voice except like too much. When he speaks to people, see, nothing was intended. when he talks to people,
But I'm not a
The rabbi pointed out.
right, no, you'll see.
No, no, it's talking about
No,
learning
it's
Torah.
not my point. This is the Buddha benachas in kol habriyos. Chas v'shalom, I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable anyway.
I'm
Really,
so
it's another point at all. It's another point at all.
Embarrassed.
It wasn't planned.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's the shgacha pratis.
The Buddha benachas in kol habriyos. When you have a conversation with somebody, obviously Torah, there's another Rambam that says you're supposed to get really into it when you learn Torah. So, and you're supposed to say it loud. It has better ingraining, and you remember it better, and you understand it better. But we're not doing that Rambam today, but I'll just put it out there. Shouldn't get the wrong idea. So he's saying when you speak to people, benachas, not too much, not too weird. You're calm, you're quiet tone, but Maktiv Shalom L'chol Adam, and a Talmud Chacham also speaks pleasantly. That was the first point. He also greets everybody. That people should like him, because he represents Torah more than the regular person. He's the rabbi. He's like someone who learned a lot of Torah, and he's living on like a real Torah life. The Rambam adds, and this person is always judging people favorably. And he speaks positive about other people. When he talks about other people, he says good things. See how these words are getting bigger and bolder and highlighted. And he doesn't speak negative at all about his fellow. He loves peace and he pursues peace. If he realizes his words will be appreciated and received, he says it. And if not, shaisik. And if not, he's quiet. This is different things about a Talmud Chacham. The Rambam says in the laws of behavior and character, he says this is the way a Talmud Chacham, someone who really learned Torah, he's like a rabbi, but he's not just a regular person. It's a little bit of a higher standard. Look what the Rambam says for regular people. Okay, so you shouldn't be losing himself in a conversation like this. What about regular people? So first we have a nice quote over here. Treat everyone with politeness, even those who are rude to you, not because they are nice, but because you are nice. Okay, very nice. Let's see another Rambam. Now this is the Rambam, also the Ilchos Deis, but look at this. This is for everyone. Mitzvah kol adam lev es kol echad v'echad misroka gufay. Every person, not a Talmud Chacham here. You see what the Rambam says here? A mitzvah upon every Jew, al kol adam, to love every single person kegufay, like his own body. Shenemar v'ahavta l'reach kamoicha. To love your fellow like yourself. Therefore, you should speak positive about it. You should speak good about him. You should be considerate to his property, his possessions. Just like you care about your own things, you don't like it getting lost and ruined. And just like you care about your own honor, you should be sensitive to someone else's dignity and honor. Shri, you with us? Great. So this is another Rambam. Here's the thing. Oh, we have some more good line. I'm sorry you got offended at one time you were treated the same way you treat everyone all the time. Don't use that apology. From this point on, I plan to treat people exactly how they treat me. Some will be glad, others should be scared. No, not a good idea. Okay, here's the question. Did anyone notice the big difference between what the Rambam says for a so-called Torah scholar and what the Rambam says for everybody? Look at the difference. When he says about speaking about others, what's the difference between scholars, and he adds these words, and not negative at all. But when he speaks about regular people and laymen, he says, yeah, he also says the same requirement. People, you have to have Avos Yisrael, you have to speak good. If he doesn't add those words, but no negative at all. What is the deeper meaning of this? What is the Rambam telling us here? And why does he do this? Like, the regular people could speak a little bit bad?
No.
Something strange. What is he saying? He must be saying something special. It's a nuance. In the Rambam, every word is so precise. It's the most super commentaries on any other work is the Rambam.
Rabbi,
Than any other work.
Yeah. Rambam saying like how for like people who are scholars, they're held at a higher level.
Obviously, but what exactly is the point? Yes, correct. Yeah, so gossip in general, we said is not healthy.
9 pounds.
Yeah, this is what happens. When you have to talk about others, we said it's not a good thing. I think I even had this already recycled. So yeah, this is a recipe for disaster. They finally found it. Okay, so let's go back here. Remember this Gemara? Shloisha lashon hara hayreges, the Rambam said. Ha'oimroi, v'hamekabloi, v'zeh she'oimer lo. And then there's the person that you're speaking about. And this is a little bit strange. How did he fall into here? He's not doing any sins. One is speaking to two. Pliny is speaking to Yankel, right? And he's telling him lashon hara about Beryl. Beryl's in another city, minding his own business. Why does he put them in the same category of getting spiritually hurt and pain? He's not doing any sins. They're doing sins. One is talking, one is listening. Listening could be worse in certain respects. But why do we lump them all three together? That's the next question that I've asked. What do you mean this guy, you put him here in the same category as people getting damaged spiritually? Right? As if the same with the people who are actually doing a sin? Very strange. Another award. Gossamonger Award. Glass oak is always an ugly and dangerous trap. Everyone's business is not always yours to share. It can ruin innocent people's lives, so please be aware. Question your intention. Is it just to get attention? What you gossip about is often very detrimental. But take a hard look at what is seriously consequential. Mean and mindless gossip will stick to you like stinky glue. Please shut your mouth, breathe, and get a humble clue. Okay, I guess someone should make this into a rap and then record it and share it. Okay, so here's the point. To understand all these points that we said and to tie it in everything, we have to understand what is words. How does words work? What do they do? What is speech? Speech means revealing reality. Dibur reveals what you have things in your mind and your thoughts and your feelings, and words are a power, a faculty to take what's concealed and to reveal it into the world. Share with another person your thoughts, your feelings, your ideas, whatever it is. You're communicating something that was inside and private and hidden, and you magnify, you like share it. You reveal it when you talk. So here's how it works. Listen how powerful speech is. If you start talking bad about somebody, saying things, just saying the words. He sleeps in, he stays up late, he wastes time on his phone, he talks lashon hara, which is irony. You are strengthening that person. He could be across the world somewhere, not physically next to you, but his yetzer hara starts getting stronger. You increase the likelihood of that person, of that struggle. If he struggles with his phone and you talk about him in a judging way, in a condemning way, and you say, this person, he has a problem with his phone, you just made it harder for him, even though he didn't hear you. This is how it works in spiritual things. Talking about saying this person, oh, he's probably gonna go to sleep late again, or so. You made it a little harder for that person. You never control, you never compel anybody. There's always free choice, but you strengthen, you magnify the negative. That's how this works, and that's why we already answered the first question, the last question we had. That when you speak, he's doing a sin, so he's having spiritual. He's being spiritually compromised. The one who's listening, the one who's speaking, and also the one you're talking about because of this concept. Saying about the bad. Now, when it comes to good, there's a phrase, there's a famous line. It's actually also brought in Saita. When it comes to good, this is not right. This has to be, I should have tilted this.
A little higher.
It should be lower. It's much heavier. Good is stronger. If something works like that in bad, it's always going to be more powerful when it comes to good. So you can imagine how it works with good things, right?
Let's put on this means like
Negative.
Nothing.
Okay, that's about size. But look how it works with good. He's responsible. He's self-disciplined. He's consistent. He cares. He's mature. When you say these things, boom, boom, boom. You actually much more. Meruba taiva. That's what it means. That in taiva, it goes faster and stronger and more positive effect. When you speak good about other Jews, it actually has an impact on them much more than the opposite. Chas v'shalom.
No.
It also brings out the good and it strengthens the good. That's why you should always be talking good about other people.
Ezzy, you're so responsible and self-disciplined.
Wait.
Such a chus.
Save it. I want to hear a lot of this afterwards.
I know.
I can't approve of your office gossiping, Frank. So after you tell me the latest, I want it to stop. Okay? That's his issues. So here's the point. This is what's going on. We're going to tie it into the Rambam and say, let's bring one more example. This thing from Aaron HaKohen. Kishoya Aaron Mahalach Bederech.
That's silent.
I don't know what that is. Oh, okay, let's do the source. Kishoya Aaron Mahalach Bederech. Aaron would walk around. He would meet somebody who was challenged. Or Ba'adam Rasha. And he would greet him. The next day, that person would his Yetzirah would come to him, and it's like, no, let's do a sin. Amar, but he say, Oili, how woe to me? How will I face Aaron? He smiled at me today. I see him again. I won't be able to look him in the eye. I'll be embarrassed that he greeted me. That person would control himself from sin. He would send his Yetzirah away because he would feel Aaron's love. Just from Aaron walking by, he would sense Aaron's love in the greeting that Aaron gave him. Notice Aaron didn't have to reprimand him or do any rebuke. He was able, he was a high level, right? We'll soon see, we're going to see what the Rambam's saying. Certain Jews, let's see. The Rambam, let's go to the Rambam. You're not allowed to ignore someone who's acting self-destructive. If someone's jumping off a roof, you try to help him, right? Any decent person tries to help somebody. You have to. You have a responsibility.
This is a real picture of someone jumping off.
You have a responsibility. You have a decency. Okay, and that's spiritually means if you see somebody doing things that are not good for them, you have to try to help them, and you got to rebuke them. However, a true Torah scholar can strengthen the good with genuine belief in them and just positive words. Someone is on a higher level. He has why? Because he has the responsibility of. Remember, the Rambam said that he has to greet everyone that they have to like him because he represents Judaism. So he has to be more sensitive. He can't do it through rebuke. That's what the Rambam's saying. He has to do it through magnifying the good, because when he talks and focuses on the good, it strengthens it. Big challenges. This are an indication of great spiritual potential. Mess ups notwithstanding. Talking about it in the proper context can reveal the great potential. A tzaddik sees the context and can activate the inner strength by talking about the person's strength and the goodness about them, and that's how he fulfills his responsibility of the person who's going wrong. But not everyone, you have to really believe in them to do it. Remember, we had the story we just had, Rabbi Yochanan got Rish Lakish to do tshuva on the spot. He told him, I believe in you, I'll let you marry my sister, and he wasn't able to jump across. Right? That's an example of this. Didn't rebuke him. He said, I really see such greatness in you. And that got him to change his ways. That's a tzaddik could do it with loibi gnus klal, without even doing. That's the gnus that other people, they sometimes have to. They have to tell you, it's not okay, But a tzaddik has to be more sensitive that people have to be liking him because they have to receive from him, because he's a teacher. He's like the Talmud Chacham, has an influence on everybody. He has to be more careful. So his only way, even in these things, he has to do it only by strengthening the positive. Remember, we said that when you talk about them, you put it into context. Like the Berditchev is famous, and like Aaron HaKohen would have these interactions, and then really great people, they just speak positive, and they shine on the positive. The Rebbe was classically known for this, and this is the meaning of the name of our parsha. Emor, what's the message?
Speak positively.
What? Speak good about others. Talk positive. In a certain sense, we could all try this as much as possible. It helps. It's so beneficial. This is not, all those things we said about talking is some empty words, recreation, joking around this, but holy words. What could be more holier than saying words that strengthen other people in good behavior? Saying good things about other Jews. For example,
you rock, you rule.
Or another one.
You're fat, but you're a good fat. I'm fat.
Okay. This is based on a public talking to Rabbi Levi Shabbos by Emor 1982. And
Question.
what you choose to focus on will grow. So what will you talk about today? All right. That's today's class.
Rabbi